Welcome back to the Last Leg US election special. We're joined by Ayesha Hazarika, Richard Osman and Jimmy Carr. Ryan said, is it OK that we're about to dump Trump? I mean, look, after 4 years, why did so many people still vote for Donald Trump? You're exactly right, Jimmy. A lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I think it's because he's sort of a walking, talking conspiracy theory. I think he's a simple solution to a very complex problem.
Yes, OK.
You know what I mean? It's like, he's a strong man, like Putin's a strong man. So you get these people that get, you know, it is a cult of personality, and they just go, I'm going to vote for him because he knows what's going on. He clearly has no idea how to do anything, but he's got more front than Sainsbury's.
And like Jeff Capes, he's a strong man as well. The thing is, though, genuinely, I know we've got a lot of votes, but there was a huge turnout, and it is very, very, very hard to lose an election if you've already won one in the States. Over the last 100 years, it's happened 3 times.
Yeah.
Right? You know, they love a president, the Americans. So, you know, he is one of the biggest losers in presidential history, despite his votes.
Well, the interesting thing was he was saying that the votes were all rigged, that it's all been rigged by the Democrats, and yet every Republican senator did quite well.
Yeah.
So basically what he said was, I'm bringing the team down.
Well, the other thing which was ridiculous about his claims was he was claiming that it was rigged, but if you were going to rig an election, why wouldn't you win the Senate? You know?
It's like, if you were it's a really good point. If you were going to rig it, why rig it close? So when you look at, like, sometimes they have an election in North Korea, and it's always like 98%. You're going to rig it, like...
And also, it got to the stage where, like, John King on CNN was obviously trying to communicate with the president. He's like, President, let me help you. If they keep counting the ballots, you might get some more votes. Like, if you stop counting now, you've definitely lost. But to Jimmy's point, the thing that is interesting, and I do take Richard's point, so on Wednesday morning, I was feeling very bleak because I wanted there to be a really clear, decisive landslide, and some of the polls were indicating that it was going to be
the blue tsunami, that all disappeared, didn't it?
And what we really wanted was sort of Trumpism to be defeated. And Jimmy's right, it kind of hasn't been, because it is going to be close, and Biden's going to have a tough time. The Supreme Court, they're going to have to rule on healthcare, abortion rights. He stacked them. They're very, very kind of conservative. The Senate's going to be really interesting, because are the Republicans going to do business with him, or are they going to want him to be a lame duck president? So he might be a one-term president. But having said all that, a win is a win. And to get Donald Trump out the White House is a big deal. It's going to restore the kind of office of the President of the United States. And I think that's something, whatever side of politics you're on, he's denigrated the office.
You know an awful lot about this, but is it a lock now? Has Biden won? And there's going to be 2 months of nonsense, but he's won, and no one can say anything? Because that's kind of what I want someone to say that to me.
Right, he has definitely won, right? So he won Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. That's all he needed to do. He's also flipped Arizona and Georgia. OK, so it's actually a pretty big win. It's the same win that Trump had last
time. How come the news aren't saying it yet?
It's because of these mail-in ballots. OK, so the mail-in ballots, which are almost entirely Democrat. They can't call it until all those things are in. But any statistician will say, no, look, there's no way, Trump does not have a way to win any.
I'll tell you how they should sort this out. You know what, they should put it to a vote.
Oh.
Just to be clearer, right? It feels clearer.
It's a much better idea.
Richard, what do you think is going to happen over the next few months? Like, because Trump's still president.
Yeah, for sure. He's president till January. Now, listen, the thing is, this election is Trump going to be president, or is he going to go to prison? OK? Yes. There's an awful lot of things, you know, there's an awful lot of investigations into Trump on a federal level, state levels, financial things. The one thing that people haven't talked about, and this is, I imagine, what might happen, so keep an eye out for it, is Trump, for example, would be able to resign now if he wanted to. He could say, look, I've had enough of this, OK? It was rigged, I'm resigning, right? What happens then is Mike Pence becomes president for the next 2 months. Now, there's a thing, which is a presidential pardon. At the end of your run, you can pardon anybody you want, OK? So Barack Obama pardoned a lot of people on marijuana convictions. Bill Clinton pardoned an awful lot of people, but that's something you can do. If Mike Pence is president for 2 months, he can pardon Trump, OK? He can say, everything you've done, if there's any investigations into you in the future of anything you've done in office, OK, you are now immune, which is what Gerald Ford did for Richard Nixon many years ago. So if Trump throws his toys out the pram in the next couple of weeks or next month and says, I'm leaving, That's what he's doing.
Wow.
He's getting Mike Pence in, and Mike Pence will say, you now have immunity from prosecution.
I tell you what, though, sometimes the bad guys, you've got to admire them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch one of those evil guys and you go, wow. Well played. That's proper James Bond baddie. I love it. I think he's going to run again, though, isn't he?
He's talking about running again.
He's going to run again in 2024, so we've not seen the last of him, although second wave of COVID.
He's going to... She was lovely.
She's lovely. She's
she
great.
Said, here's my card if you ever need a one-legged stripper.
Have you got that card?
What was great was watching Alex on the red carpet.
This girl went to me, oh, Alex, can you sign this for me? And then she went, actually, can you sign this?